Yo.
Hey, welcome. Oh, look at that.
Stop jinxing it.
It's working. Welcome to the new meta, episode 56.
56.
56. No technical
Of course
issues
not.
for this is the third week in a row, man.
No, it's only two. It's only two.
Is it? Okay. All right. I was starting to
I
get
mean,
proud of
every
you, man. I
week
was like,
it's
"You got
perfect.
this."
What do you mean?
Proud of you. So this week has been kind of an interesting personal life
Yeah,
thing going on. You disappeared for the weekend.
I did. Took Lindsay on
Where'd you
a
go?
surprise trip to Aruba,
Aruba.
which was pretty fun.
That's cool.
Never been.
I know nothing about Aruba. Tell me about Aruba.
Yeah, so, I mean, usually for us here in the Midwest, it's like Mexico. Going to Mexico is usually pretty cheap. It's like 300 to 400, depending. I mean, it's not cheap, but right? Like, it's just better. And usually, like, Aruba's in, like, that 900 plus range. And so I was just able to find, like, a decent deal. So I was like, sure, let's do it.
Nice.
It's beautiful. The beaches are great. It's super windy, which is actually really nice because it, like, cancels out some of the heat because it's, like, 80 constantly. But
Have you
it's
been there
super
before,
expensive.
or is this your first time?
That was my first time, yeah.
Cool.
But it's super expensive, like super Americanized, and like at the going out to like have drinks and stuff. It's actually like more expensive than like here, you know.
Oh, really?
So that's unfortunate.
Which is the opposite of what you'll find in Mexico,
Yeah.
at least from my experiences.
100%, yeah.
You know, it's super cheap
Right.
usually.
That's
That's
dope.
cool. And then how are their motorcycles?
shitty.
Shitty motorcycles?
Yeah, so I rented a scooter, which is a huge plus. I definitely would recommend because it's like it's amazing. Like you can literally drive your scooter anywhere, like park wherever the fuck you want, and like parking is like an issue, you know, in Aruba because like everyone's renting a car, and so you just like literally drive up to the beach, park, go. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But you know, the scooter I got was it was a real hunk of shit. Like the tires were super blunt, and I'm sure you know, and a lot of chat knows, and maybe you guys don't know. This would be a quick lesson. The worst time to drive a motorcycle is when it like starts to rain, because there's that like half hour before like the oil gets washed away, and like the water just sits on top of the road,
Yeah.
and so it makes it like super slick to drive a motorcycle.
Super.
And on top of having like super blunt tires, I was just like taking a left turn to go on this like dirt road. And just
It
wrecked.
just slid out?
Yeah, just slid out. And
How fast were you going?
I was going so fucking slow. Like maybe 10, maybe 15. But you know,
I mean, that's good.
it's
It still
enough,
sucks.
right? And I feel like-
I've actually had that happen to me. Yeah, just like you said, when it starts to rain, the oil gets washed up for the first 30 minutes or so,
Right.
and it's just ridiculous. And I had the same thing happen to me. I was just going from block to block, and I put my front brake on. Like, God, it was so light. I wasn't even moving, but it was just so slick. It just locked it up, and the bike went down so fast. And probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I'm like, people are around you thinking that this fuck can't drive a bike, and
Right.
All that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it was.
it sucks.
Yeah, it
plus
sucks.
you had your girlfriend on the back.
Yeah,
so
Lindsay was on the back.
Got hurt,
And I had like
She
a
doesn't
flawless
trust you
record
anymore.
before that. I did like 15 years I've been riding motorcycles, never been a wreck.
Yeah,
And go down on a
yeah.
stupid scooter like 10, 50 miles an hour. But like I slid, like scraped up my arm and my leg and broke a couple toes and like hit my head. And then Lindsay also broke a couple toes and like scuffed up her legs.
toes?
Yeah.
Not scraped,
No.
but actually broken.
We actually both broke 2 toes per person.
Oh man. So casts or
No, I mean, there's nothing you can do for a broken toe. You just fucking, you could tape it to other toes, but it's like worthless.
Damn.
Yeah.
So did you go to like an Aruba hospital?
No. No.
Just said fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing you can do.
You're
It's a
good.
fucking broke toe and some
So how do you know your
scratches.
toes are broke? How do you know?
You
they're broke?
know. Like, have you ever broken a toe?
I don't. I guess not.
Yeah, you fucking know. You
I mean, I
know.
have in my motorcycle accident. I had pins going through my toes, but that's
Sure.
a different story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So that's just one to chalk up, man. I mean, someday we're gonna have to have a motorcycle war story episode where
Sure.
we just.
I don't really, I mean, I don't have
battle
the
stories.
coolest stories I have are the ones that I avoided. Like some
Mm-hmm.
weird Final Destination type shit. But
Yeah.
until
Oh,
now,
my
I've
gosh.
been unscathed, my record. But goddamn. Anyways,
Let's hit up the straw poll
yeah.
from last week.
So last week, where is it? This one. We asked, should Veer Chantoto be nerfed? Because you guys know this has been like a big deal. Super strong this season. Able to like knock 130 out first weekend probably of the season. It's just so strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think won, and what would you vote?
I really don't know what won. I'm gonna say nah,
Okay.
and I would vote nah. I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay.
I think I hope they just balance other things around it.
Yeah. So
I don't know, man. It's so powerful though. I don't
yeah.
know.
It's tough
so
because
Because you're gonna hit the ceiling. You're
Right.
gonna hit that ceiling if you keep power creep and everything to match it. You know?
but here's the thing. So it's like this isn't even that powerful. Like I mean, it's very, very good, but like it's not breaking the 4-man. It's not gonna hit the cap. So I don't really care if it stays. My only problem is if it stays and the next seasonal buff is like, something basic like COE. Like Chantoto's is gonna be light years ahead of everything. Like, and it's a set, and like Lon's gonna be gone. So
We're not gonna get COE next season. Let's not even. Let's think that away.
Yeah. So I'm
So
gonna
what would you
vote
say?
nerf it, but I think everyone's gonna say
Okay.
no. Please don't nerf it.
Okay, let's see.
68% of the vote says no, and 32% of the vote says
So
nerf.
those that voted nerf it just don't. They hate Wizard, is what it is. Because if you play Wizard,
I
and you're a
just
Wizard
voted
main,
nerf it. I like Wizard.
You don't play Wizard. You play. you
I've
play
played
Necro,
so
man.
much Wizard in my Diablo history. When Virasha was like just became a thing, and Manalt Heal had just been introduced. Played for like 3 seasons.
You played it for like 3 hours.
3 seasons. 3 seasons.
Yeah. I agree with that though. I think it's fun the way it is, and what's really going to be my biggest thing is if they nerf it, I'm afraid that it's going to be more rats next season. And the way it sits now, I think that this will replace rats as the Paragon farming meta, at least for a season. Let's get like 1 or 2 seasons without it, or with it, and then not maybe 2, and then nerf it. And
Sure.
it gives us something else.
Sure.
Because lawn rats is really good. The rats are still efficient this season,
Right.
But next season, I think this will take over.
Yeah. And again, depending on how good the seasonal theme is, I think also kind of dictates my opinion. Because if it's really good again, and this like doesn't matter, like bounces turn out the window like this season, I don't care.
Yep.
But like if next season's like normal, then nerf it. But yeah, poll for next week. Just kind of a curiosity, I guess. On average, how long do you play every season? Option 1, 2 to 3 days. Option 2, 1 to 2 weeks. Option 3, a month. Option 4, you're hardcore and you go all 3 months. So we'll spam that in chat.
That's interesting. Yep. Would like to see. Interested in those stats because we can't pull those. Blizzard has them.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have them.
It would be nice to have Blizz.
Blizz, give us those numbers. But then that kind of ties into the next article talking about Blizz.
Yeah.
Kotaku posted this, and this kind of happened like right after the podcast last week. So a lot of you guys have probably heard about this already, but in case you haven't, Blizzard canceled their StarCraft first-person shooter, and Overwatch 2 to focus on Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2,
allegedly.
And allegedly,
Right.
I'm okay with that. I've read a bunch of different articles about this, and one of the articles quoted Blizzard CEO as saying something to the effect like 50% of our IPs don't even make it, to public knowledge because we only produce good games or something like that. And I'm like, okay, basically he shit on the game and said it was a crappy game,
They always say it's not Blizzard quality. I hate, like we talk about this a lot, but there's so much stuff that Blizzard has probably just deleted that like would probably be a good game like in the hands, like so say they worked like 50% of it, 70% of it, and they're like, you know what, we don't feel like this is Blizzard quality. Like, it's probably could still be a great game in the hands of a different studio, which is really unfortunate. So I hate when I hear about these projects that they just like ultimately cancel, because it's just like, God damn, man, like what a waste of time. Like, and
I didn't see it enough to like get upset. And like StarCraft is a really cool universe, and I actually enjoyed the campaign of StarCraft 2. At least the human, which is the Terran, and the what was the second one? I think it was the Zerg that they released.
That's
And like those are fun, man. I played through the campaigns, and they were fun. I bought the third one and just never played it, but I have it. I owned it. And the story was cool. The universe was cool. I think they have a really awesome IP. So a first person shooter story in that could have been cool.
Could have been great. And I hear this and like I'm upset because it's like first person shooters. I'm down. Like any new first person shooter you want to bring into the pool, like sounds great. And to me, this kind of sounds like they were going for like maybe a Destiny.
Yeah.
PvE FPS probably, because it sounds like you're gonna kill like StarCraft mobs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they could be all kinds of shit. The thing is if they're gonna reallocate these resources to Diablo 4, then I'm happy they did it.
Sure.
Like I got FPS to play from other companies that excel in FPS. So let me get some Diablo 4. I'm ready. But it would be interesting to see what they had to be like, where we could give our opinions. Like, no, that's total shit. I'm glad you canceled it. Or like, that looks pretty damn cool. That really sucks that you did that. But it makes me wonder if some of these projects, these guys are just screwing off. Like, do you think some of these guys get on new IPs and they go into work?
100%. That's like programmers, right?
Yeah.
You got programmers that are ballers, and you got programmers that like literally just like do the bare minimum and don't apply themselves.
They're just going in, fucking chilling at work all day, watching YouTube.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, well, we're gonna cancel this because you guys have made no progress.
Right. And then, but this is what kind of bugs me, and it's like the kind of unforeseen like circumstance of this. So they cancel this first-person shooter to transfer those devs over to Overwatch 2, which makes sense because if you take like an FPS-minded programmer, and you put him in with Overwatch 2, he'll probably be fine. But you take that same program, you put him on like a project like Diablo. That to me, that's bad. Like the Diablo programmer should be like fans and like passionate about the Diablo franchise and what an ARPG is, not fucking like FPS lovers that like, I guess
maybe they took their their low level guys that were working on assets in this new game. Like, okay, this guy was making grass and trees and whatever the fuck else, and they're like, okay, now you're making grass and trees in Diablo. You know, so I don't know. But I agree with you. I don't think the skill sets line up. Like, Yeah. So.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just. But yeah,
it's weird.
I just hate stories of Blizzard canceling shit and deleting assets and stuff like that. Ugh.
I think Kotaku broke this one too. It's like these guys.
Yeah.
I wonder how. Like every game company must fucking hate these guys. There's no way, because these guys are like in the dirt of everything. So.
Yeah. But yeah,
they also. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess so. Story broke about some high profile like Blizzard staff getting laid off. Just kind of add to their, I guess, morale issues. So the esports, I guess the people they're kind of in charge of esports, which we knew like was a thing. Like they had just laid off like basically all the esports people. And so like the higher ups are now
esports
leaving.
Division didn't do what they wanted it to do. And again, this I think these broke around the same time as the other article as well. And it some of these articles were saying things like they were trying to run the esports division more like ESPN would run TV, and that format just didn't work.
Right, because of this
esports. Yeah, this guy right here. He was like, what does it say? CEO.
He was from somewhere. Fox Sports.
Yeah.
It's like and
he tried to run it, and like, to me, does that sound like a bad idea to you to have a Fox Sports guy come in?
100%.
That doesn't seem like the worst idea. He's got some production knowledge and stuff.
Yeah, but
you just got to adapt it to.
I don't know, man. I don't know. because like games, you can't run like a game tournament like you run like sport. I don't know. To me, I would think he's coming in and like, well, what makes like football and baseball? What makes that stuff like really, really popular? Let's apply that to video
Yeah.
games. It's just not. It's not the same fucking wheelhouse at all.
Yeah, those games are so much slower and so much less frequent. Whereas esports, you can have a full tournament in 2 days, and like the NBA finals take a month. So I get it. I get that a little bit. Um,
Just look at that smile.
I don't know.
Man.
I don't know, man. It's their esports league just got shit on. It looks like, and I guess they're still pushing the Overwatch League stuff pretty heavily. I don't know.
Yeah, I
So
doesn't make sense to me. Again, but what do I know?
the Overwatch League was pretty baller at BlizzCon last year. I got to say that was like one of the cool
Yeah,
things
like and especially
to me about it.
like we didn't have to understand really what was going on. Like granted, we're gamers, but like we really
Right.
and like I've never seen those maps. Like I don't play fucking Overwatch.
Yeah.
So like, but I was able to follow and it made sense.
Yeah, I didn't see the setups coming as much as the crowd, but you
Right.
could definitely tell. And when big things happened, man, it was like the people that were there knew what was going on.
Right.
That's what was really cool to me. Is like when something big happened, the crowd was like, "Ooh, and then they just blow up into cheer, and you're
Right.
like, "Oh shit," it was really cool. And to have a stadium like to play in a stadium like that, I mean, it was legit. Like you're a sports player, like you have an arena filled up watching you. It was pretty cool.
Right.
So
But the
I hope they
overwhelming
can continue that.
yeah, the overwhelming theme with these articles over and over, it just seems to be like Activision overlord, just like just sucking all the fun out of like working at
Yeah,
Blizzard.
man, and that goes back to like so Destiny had this big reveal last Thursday about the future of their franchise, and they said all the right things to somebody that's a huge Destiny fan. They said all the right things. They embraced that the game is an MMO. They've never used the word MMO to describe Destiny ever. And they used the word MMO, and they even said if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And like
Right.
we're an MMO, we need to embrace the RPG side, the stats, all these things. But during that hour-long live segment, they threw so much shade at Activision, and it's like some of it was felt like, or is this a cop out, or was Activision literally getting their hands in everything? Because Bungie got out, like they bought themselves out, they bought their IP out,
Right.
like to me, that makes me think like they were being forced to do things they didn't want to do. And they went to him and said, hey, listen, man, we don't like this. You guys are not happy with the financial numbers we put up last year anyways. Let us just buy out.
Sure.
And then they just started throwing shade at him. So it does make you wonder, is Activision getting into Blizzard just like they did with Bungie,
It's got to make you think, because like you look at Diablo Immortal, which is probably like top 5 worst game announcements of all time, and you gotta like it's such a weird decision for a company like Blizzard to be so anti like mobile games like historically, and then so much so that like this game even gets outsourced and like Blizzard doesn't even like make it. So it's like it's almost like Blizzard was like, no, we're not gonna make a fucking mobile game, but Activision's like, well, we like kind of own the IPs now, so like we're gonna do it anyways, and
Yeah.
you better get on board, kind of thing.
Right. If you want any say in it, like
Right.
you're helping. I don't know, man. It's interesting. It's super, super interesting. And like, we'll never really know.
Right.
I'm sure as time goes on, more of the Bungie shit will leak out.
Sure.
Jason Schreier and Kotaku and those guys will get some of those guys to speak up, to talk or whatever. But it's interesting. I mean,
Right.
they're definitely influencing them. I mean, to the point where it seemed like Activision was this is the takeaway that I got, at least from the overview of Bungie, is that Activision was influencing their cadence on releases. Like they had to have content at certain intervals. They had to have specific pricing schemes that they wanted them to have.
Right.
Loot boxes were an Activision mandated thing. The not being able to give away the older content for free. Like now they've gone to a thing where anybody can get the base game for free and this and that. And I think they've been wanting to do that for a while, and Activision wouldn't let them do it. So there's like so many things where they had their hands in development cycle, all the way from like making the game overly simplistic for users to try to appeal to a casual audience to pricing schemes to release cadence. I mean, that's a huge influence on any game if they're mandating you have those things. So I don't know.
It's wild.
Let's see.
But yeah, this is kind of a tangent, but I just heard this today, and I just found this to be like just so wild. And you have to let me know whether you think this is Activision or Blizzard. But I was in Quinn's stream earlier, and he was watching like Luigi's Mansion. No, it's Tomb Raider. They're watching Tomb Raider when they had these like two actors or streamers or content creators. I don't even know who they were, but they went to a haunted house, like a real life haunted house, and like play Resident Evil. And it's like this, like to get people hyped or something. But it just fell short, and it was really stupid, and it was just like really cringe. And Quinn had mentioned that Diablo basically had offered him the exact same thing. Like they wanted him to stream Diablo 3 on the Switch from a real life haunted house to get people
and he was
hyped
serious.
up. Yeah, 100%. And he's like, I can show you guys the emails and everything. Like, he's not lying.
Did he?
No.
No, did he show the emails?
No.
That's what
No.
I want to see that shit.
Yeah, and he just said, I think that's a really stupid idea. And but it makes you wonder, because there was that, like, you remember there was like that chair? They were showing a chair, and it was like in a haunted basement before like one of the seasons or something like that. And then they ended up having like some girl come in and stream the start of the season. Do you remember that crap?
I don't know.
It was dumb.
Interesting, man. I mean, if they would have offered it to you, would you have done it?
How in any way can you make that cool? Like, I guess I would ask like how much of my spin can I put on this, and how much of this is like going to be like scripted and like silly, or like.
I mean, you're streaming, so you're gonna have to have lights. So the haunted house can't be dark and scary.
Sure. Yeah.
So you're gonna have to have lights. You're gonna have to have a streaming rig close by to capture the footage to send it to the internet. I just don't see how you can. I mean, it's like, well, do you guys just want to send me some decorations and I'll just redo my streaming setup real fast? I can throw some, some stuff around. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I think that it's kind of cheesy, but I think it would be, it could be interesting to do something like that. I don't know if I would instantly shoot it down. I'd be like, all right, well, let's talk about this. What
But
can
how
we
do you sell that as like a streamer? It's like, oh, I'm in a haunted house. I think I just heard something, guys. Like, oh, I'm playing Diablo 3 on it. Like, it's.
Yeah, I don't think you could. I don't
idea.
think you could legitimately sell that. You could just be like, yo, I'm doing it from a haunted house just because, like, YOLO, like, it's fun, like, whatever, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone could, it'd probably be
funny,
Quinn, but he's just like, no.
Right. I don't know. You could make it comical. I think it would have to be a joke. I think you'd have to spin it as a joke. Like, have somebody walk in some, like, stupid, scary outfit, and you could just be like, look at this guy. Like, get out of here, you know?
Right. So that being said, Activision or Blizzard? Whose idea?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
I kind of think Blizzard, honestly. Like, that kind of says Blizzard to me. It's kind of like nerdy, and I don't know, just kind of the stuff that they come up with lately.
Yeah,
it kind of seems like right up that alley.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think Activision would be like, yo, you got to get somebody to stream your game from a haunted house.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems kind of silly.
Right.
So if they did, I think you could be like, are you serious?
Right.
Like, no, you know.
And one of the things that I was sipping on cocktails down in Aruba, and one of the things I thought to myself is like, you know what? Like, one of the big differences between PoE and Diablo is Diablo like keeps coming out with stuff for like your entry level, like not committed, your hardcore fan. Like they like, well, let's make Diablo 3 on Switch. It's the same fucking game with no new stuff added really, but it's going to reach a new, level of players. It's going to net them more profits, blah blah blah. And but whereas PoE is literally like, oh, new player, yeah, go fuck yourself. Elite players that come back time and time again, like you're our juice. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's completely two ends of the spectrum. It's kind of wild. But I mean, each is successful, obviously, in their own regard. But
yeah, I think you got to have a good balance of both, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think The ideal season or ideal league, if you were a PoE player, would be to get some new people in, and then appeal to those veterans that have been playing forever. Because you got to keep the new people coming, and I think Destiny has proven that they're doing stuff currently for the seasoned veterans, but their entry point is so far away from where the game's at now that it's like new people that pick the game up don't really get to see what the game's like, and,
Right.
and there's nothing for them. They're going to tap out before they ever hit the end game, you know? So, and I think PoE is kind of the same too. Like you get logged in PoE and you see that skill tree and you're just like, oh shit, okay, I'm out. Like what? This doesn't even make sense, you know?
Yeah,
So,
100%. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and then you had found a nice Diablo post.
Yeah,
though.
I gotta say, so, and like, it's a
They
positive
edited
note.
this really well too.
Yes.
Like look how the pieces fly in. That's
So
really cool. Man.
week after week, we've been saying like, Blizzard doesn't really do enough like for the community, like the people that make builds, and the challengers should be like ways of featuring maybe community members, or just like, featuring someone on the official Diablo Twitter that's not Riker and it's not Bloodshed is super rare in the past couple of years, right? And not to say anything about, because those guys deserve it too, but there's a ton of other people that deserve it as well. And so, like, they featured this guy. They had this, like, little clip of this guy's build, which is like a Bone Storm build for the Necro. Granted, it's a pretty bad build overall for the Necro, but it's going to get people excited. And, maybe they see, like, oh, cool, the Bone's doing all the damage, and that seems fun.
And somebody spent a little time animating it
Yeah,
and making like
100%.
a thing, and like, so that's cool.
Yeah. So
And like John, John the intern's like, yo, I can use photos. I can use, After Effects. And they're like, all right, go make something. So
I'm
that's
proud.
kind of cool.
I'm proud of you, Diablo. Good job. You did it.
Oh man. In other gaming news,
Yeah,
this
it's
week,
all Diablo stuff we got, really.
E3 has been going on, and good Lord,
What is
juice.
E3?
It is an expo where, I mean, I don't know the official, thing, but it's all the developers come together and they show off their new titles. They show off their new stuff. It's like a gaming expo. It's like BlizzCon only for everything.
Right.
Everybody. So
Yeah, I think E3 like started as like a really great, positive, awesome thing, but now it's like you kind of like pay for like a parking space, and like
yeah,
it's become like kind of a money grab.
It's a thing now, for sure.
But anyways, I'm not going to detract from what you're going to say.
Yeah, there's tons of things. I guess one of the big things to me is Sony opted out of E3 this year, and I don't know this is the first year they've done it in how many years, but there's no PlayStation stuff at all, no Sony stuff at all. So Microsoft kind of had their time to shine. They're like, all right, here you go, it's your stage. So I'm going to start by going over some of the details of the Microsoft expo.
Okay.
And Microsoft is getting into the gaming streaming service, just like everybody else.
Just like the Stadia type stuff?
Kind of,
Okay.
yeah. It's a little bit more similar to PlayStation. So PlayStation has this feature called PlayStation Now, where they take like key, first-party games and PlayStation games and a lot of older stuff like PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games. And you pay this service, and then you can just play them on your PlayStation pretty much anywhere. Like, you don't have to physically own the game. You don't have to install the game. You just have to install this PlayStation Now app. And it may work over PC and stuff too. I'm not sure. I've never really used it. But Microsoft's is going to be kind of a hybrid of that, where you can play on your Xbox, you can play your Xbox games, or if you have the subscription, you can play a library of games that they give you, and you don't have to play them on your Xbox. I think you can play them with other services too, but I didn't do enough research into that to see exactly how. So I don't know if it's web browser based or anything like that, but for sure you can stream your Xbox from your Xbox, not on your Xbox. Like, you can be at your office on your cell phone or whatever and play your Xbox at home, or you can just connect to their servers and play their stuff.
Gotcha.
So, which seems like the better choice, because I'm sure they're going to be more powerful and have better internet than the average consumer. But it's kind of a competition for Stadia and PlayStation.
Okay.
They also added their Microsoft Game Pass. So they're doing this deal. It's kind of like Netflix where you can pay them a couple dollars a month. I think the pricing is going to be $15 a month. Right now, you can get in for $1 during the E3 stuff. I don't know when that deal's over, but it's going to include a bunch of titles. It's going to include Xbox titles and PC titles, and like just a couple of them. They're just bragging about how many titles are going to add to this in the future. But Gears of War 5 is going to be on there. Battletoads game, which just got announced at E3, is going to be on there. Some of the titles are like Metro Exodus, Ark Survival, Forza Horizon 4, and Sea of Thieves. Like there's just a huge list of games. Those are a couple of the standouts.
Man, people
So
must really like
none of the
be attacking Steam. I think Steam had such a monopoly for such a long time. It seems like now people are
this little service subscription thing, man. Everybody's trying to get into it.
right.
Everybody's wanting to compete with, I guess Netflix started this
Right.
this subscription based thing, and so now PlayStation's got it, and I think there might be like some kind of ultimate bundle thing that you can get that includes their streaming service as well.
Okay.
So, and it also includes Xbox Gold with that, which lets you play online and gives you the free games every month. I mean, it's honestly for $15, it seems like a pretty good deal, but it really depends on the titles they get. None of the titles they had right now were like, oh my God, I really want to get that game. Sea of Thieves to me is probably the biggest, but there are, they're just gonna keep adding to it. So we'll see. Once that library gets pretty ridiculous, it'd be kind of crazy.
Okay.
Um, so that was kind of what I took from the Microsoft thing. I think they got a new controller. They got a new controller that looks pretty sick. It's I think it's the Elite version 2 or the Elite 2 or something like that. But it's got different profiles in it and the paddles on the back of the controller and stuff. So if you're a console, FPS player or whatever, it looked pretty cool. And then switching gears away from Microsoft, Avengers Assemble got announced from Square.
Okay.
It
What is that?
looks like it's kind of hard to. There's Nolan North, yeah. So they replaced the cast. Like we're used to the same cast we have from the movies,
Sure.
right? And they replaced that cast with their own Avengers cast. So when you see Captain America, it doesn't look like Chris Evans. When you see Tony Stark, it doesn't look like Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
So Nolan North is the guy that he's a really big voice actor in the gaming industry, and he does a really good job. But he's doing Tony Stark. He doesn't really look like Tony Stark. I don't think they modeled his physical face, but they did. I think he does the motion capture and he does the voiceover work, and it's pretty cool, man. They had a list of actors. The actors came on stage and you got to see them. And I think that was a smart move because when you see this intro, it looks like it's a God of War style single player adventure where this huge, awesome campaign and really, really awesome story. But then they go in to start talking about it and it's not. It's actually like an online game where you can play with your buddies. It's going to have an evolving world. It's going to have no DLC, no paid DLC. Everything's going to be included free, no loot boxes. And like the crowd blew up when they're like, no loot boxes, no pay to win, no paid DLC. Well, you buy the game, you get everything, and then of course the crowd ate that shit up.
Sure.
But it was cool. It was cool. So they showed this really long, like, several minute cinematic intro with a little bit of gameplay mixed in. And then they had the actors come out and they got to meet the actors. So it was pretty cool. I should have got a link for you for that one.
No worries. Got it.
Got it pulled up. So yeah, if you guys are listening, we have it on in the background. But I think the biggest thing for me personally is going to be getting over the actors. It's going to be seeing Thor and not seeing Chris Hemsworth and stuff. So
I mean, they do this like every 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Like eventually, those guys aren't going to be the guys anymore and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you have to accept it. Like those guys don't want to keep voice acting it, and they don't want to keep like how hard is it probably to get Robert Downey to come do lines for the update that comes out?
It'd be so expensive. It'd be like they couldn't afford it.
It's right. But the like I said, it looks really cool. So I'm excited to see that. I'm really excited in the online what are they gonna do online with this game? You know, like how is that gonna work? So, and they didn't reveal a lot, but it'd be cool, man. Jump on in a game with your buddies. You know,
Probably
start
just like
smashing some faces.
there's a set amount of heroes you can play. Maybe like X-Men for the arcade, but in like a
Yeah,
3D kind of
exactly. It's like
universe.
that, but it's more of like a, more modern. But yeah, exactly. You know, like, oh, I'm Tony Stark. All right, I'll be Cap. You know, whatever. Just go
Right.
kick some ass. Cyberpunk 2077 was also dropped. And this game, dude, this game looks
This is so cheesy,
phenomenal.
by the way.
It it looks phenomenal. Keanu Reeves came out.
come out. It's so
Comes out, and it was cool. If you listen to it and watch it, man,
Oh
I
my
don't know,
God,
dude.
it's
It was cool. So excited for this game. Maybe more so than any other game from E3.
Keanu Reeves,
But
like them having Keanu Reeves like come out and like be in the game and stuff. It actually kind of takes away. Like I wasn't interested to begin with, but to me it's just like Jesus Christ. It's such like a stunt, a publicity stunt. People love
think it's
Keanu
cool,
Reeves
man.
right now, and
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think he just was in John Wick, but he's such an action superstar. I mean, he's done Matrix, he's done John Wick, he's done oh, I forget the name of the other series that came out where he was fighting demons. I don't know, but he's done so much shit, and I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool. So this game looks phenomenal. It's going to be a single player story playthrough campaign, probably similar like a God of War style game where it's offline playthrough, enjoy the story. But we'll see more details as we get it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know if like chat just told me when I started up, but I guess like the doc was walking around. Did you see this or hear this?
No,
He's walking around E3, which was like a good idea. So they like basically he paid for like a camera guy to follow him around, a live stream.
Yeah,
Him just walking around E3, and it's cool to like.
That's cool.
He's got a lot of fans, and like people want to take photos, and he's just being his character.
just being the doc.
Right.
That's cool.
But he
I've
the cameras like followed them into the fucking bathrooms like multiple times.
what?
Yeah, and they eventually got banned.
Doc got banned or
Yeah.
his camera
No,
guys?
Doc got banned.
I mean, well, that's pretty stupid. Why would they follow him?
Yeah,
into the
it's so
restroom?
like especially as a camera person because it's like he would film people like their backs and they were like peeing in the urinals. Like what if there's that small percent chance you got a guy that like turns around and like as he's shaking,
Whips it out.
like
Yeah.
that's a terrible idea.
All right.
Awful
Speaking of this,
idea.
I'm gonna go on a side tangent.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So I've been dieting and trying to get back into shape.
Sure.
I've lost 10 pounds in the last month. Right. So I'm going to the gym, doing my stuff. Yay, woo me. Right. I'm at the gym, and I go to the gym today, and I walk in and I start changing, to go run, and there's this dude. Old guys just don't fucking care, man. This old guy
That's gyms,
comes
man.
out. This old guy comes out of the shower, and he's got like a 4-point granny walker. Like those walkers that you would put tennis balls on the bottom of
Yeah,
it,
100%.
to like slide around. He's got one of those, and he's just like creeping in this slider, going across, fucking naked. And this dude, I guess, has the locker right next to me, which I didn't know because he was in the shower, right?
Sure.
So he comes over, and I'm like trying to like not even look in his direction, right? So like I'm turned facing the locker, and I just you can just know that he's there, and I kind of look over. He's like, oh, my locker's over here, and I'm like, that's cool. I just got my shit and left because he's like got his sack like hanging right next to me, man. Like no fucks given.
You
dude.
clearly have not been to the gym all that much in life. That is
No, it's always
all
like
over
that.
the
It's
gym.
always
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But I've never had a guy with a walker for one,
Yeah.
and two, I've never had him just like hover next to me with his sack hanging
Sure.
out. Like I'm sitting on the bench, like putting my shoes on, and he's standing up next to me, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it's like at eye level. I'm trying to describe this in a nice way, and I'm just like, can you like go? What do you? I'm like, what do you need, sir? Like, go away, man.
Sure. I'm gonna
So,
rapid
oh,
fire
man.
the 3 worst guys I've ever met at gyms. So rapid fire, real quick, so we don't take
Okay.
up a ton of time. So we got one guy at my little gym, and he would like there's a TV for some fucking reason. Like right when you turn the corner to get in, like there's a TV like,
Yeah.
facing that way, and this guy was buck ass naked and just fucking standing there like, oh, hey man, how's it like? You walk in, just like boom, dick.
Exactly.
Two.
Yes. Yes.
Two.
Yes.
There was a guy
that's it.
that would shave. Right. This is the second worst guy. The guy would shave, and he'd like be up against the counter, and he would literally like lift his junk and like lay it on the counter as he would fucking shave.
Yeah, like
Every
why
day.
do you not have underwear on? I don't understand.
Either. And then the worst of all time is there's a guy after we do like we do a boot camp, like that's how I met Lindsay, like a crazy workout session, and like maybe twice a week he would come in there to the steam room. We go in the steam room afterwards, and he'd literally do fucking yoga, buck ass naked, like on one of the benches in front of everybody.
In front of the ladies?
No,
Oh
like it
my
wasn't
God,
it wasn't a co thing. It was like all guys in the locker room.
all guys?
Yeah.
Oh my
But
God.
he fucking
dude.
he literally just like was spreading eagle. Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
the old man with his leg up on the bench, like just like you said, is like fucking classic. And it's like I don't understand, man. Like nobody wants to see your junk. Like you're doing this because you want somebody to see your dick. Like there's no way.
Right. I think
Like,
there's an age, right? Like maybe 56.
Yeah, like
something
hit
flips
like
in your brain.
65,
Right.
And you're just like, fuck it.
Everyone
I want somebody
has
to see my penis
dick.
today.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, somebody needs to see my junk today, or my day has not been successful. And it's like, so I go there and I take the shower, and because I usually work out during my lunch break, so because my gym's kind of close to my work, so I'll go work out and then I hop in the shower, get back my work clothes, and go back to work. And so, like the showers there are like double stalled. So like you have this big changing area in the shower that's closed behind curtains. Like so I can literally just take my underwear in there and then take the shower, dry off, put the underwear on, and walk back to the locker. Like there's no need to have your sack hanging out, old dudes. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't even know what got me on the dock bathroom story.
Right.
It's like, oh man, oh my God.
Stupid.
But it drives me crazy, man. So, but no, that's really cool as far as like him having people go with him. Going in the bathroom is stupid. I don't.
Yeah,
that's
a bad
I am totally okay with him banning him for that.
Sure.
Like that's dumb. I've seen people do it. My thing is like, how do you get the cell phone service to pull that off, man? Like my cell phone carrier couldn't do that. I don't understand.
They carry on like straight up like modem. Like it's crazy gear. Like you've seen those
Like,
backpacks and stuff. They have like
like where
router.
do you
They
get
have
the
like
gear?
a backup router, and they've got like it's crazy.
Yeah, but what are they powering it by? It's got to be a cell phone.
Battery
Like,
pack
what?
inside the battery or inside the backpack. They're all
Yeah,
powered
no.
on.
But I'm saying, what are they getting the internet from? It's got to be their cell phone. Like, what could they possibly be getting juice from?
Like there's some kind of devices out there that like pull like they're like straight up like routers that use fucking data. So they just like power those inside the backpack. It's fucking
I
crazy.
think that'd be fun as shit to do, man.
It would
go
be,
to BlizzCon and
100%.
do that shit. Oh, that would be fucking amazing, man. So,
But you'd have to like
So
be approved and shit. Like you couldn't just walk in there, right?
that'd be so awesome, though.
Right.
Cyberpunk was again show stealer for me personally.
Sure.
And then the next, I guess this is back to the Xbox thing. I had it in the wrong section. Xbox announced its next gen console. It's called Project Scarlet.
Really?
That's the code name. I don't think that's what it's going to end up being called, but they announced it. They're saying it's going to be out for holiday of 2020. So next Christmas, we're going to get the next gen Xbox. And they said some really cool things in there, man. 120 FPS.
Great.
So they're acknowledging frame rate issues. I don't know why they didn't hit 144.
But it's
'cause
like
that seems to be the
Xbox
standard.
X or whatever is supposed to be 60, but like the games like don't fucking perform. So it's probably gonna be the same thing. It's like 120, but like everything's like 30 frames.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. So they're saying it's 5 times or 4 times as powerful as the Xbox One X. They're saying it's going to be able to 120 FPS capable. It's going to be 8K capable, which there's no fucking way you're playing games at 8K if you can't. Absolutely not.
Right.
But 124K FPS, if they're touting that, like that's impressive. That's some power. RTX capable. It's going to have SSDs, GDDR4 or R6. I mean. Et cetera, et cetera. So they threw some stats out there. I think they kind of did this in response to PlayStation's next gen shit being leaked out or
right,
displayed to us. But it's cool. So Christmas of 2020 is what it looks like when the next gen console war is going to start. But part of that is that Halo Infinite is going to be the launch title for the new Xbox. The new Halo game is going to be on the Xbox. However, I think they've also announced that the Halo game is also going to drop on PC. So it's like, why? I don't know why they would do that, because I
They
would buy the
can't.
new
They're
Xbox
not
for
gonna do
Halo
it.
if it's
Yeah.
good. And if they release it on PC, then I'm never going to buy the new Xbox.
Yeah, no one will.
Ever. I bought Xbox One, or the Xbox, the Xbox One. I bought it literally for Halo 5. And that's the only game I've ever played on it.
Yeah.
So,
Same. I bought
you
2
know.
Xboxes for it. Never really played
The
everything.
trailer for Halo Infinite dropped, though. Do you have that? Do you have that on?
You know, I
queue?
haven't even watched it.
So
I'm afraid
it's
to
a little
even,
long
peek through
to
it.
watch here, but it, this supposedly this footage is game engine footage. Now it could be pre-rendered game engine footage,
Sure.
but yeah, man.
Holiday
I mean, it looks,
2020?
yeah, because it's gonna launch with the Xbox.
That's such a long
So
time.
it's gonna be a while before you get the new Halos. But it's coming. It's in the pipe, and we'll see more stuff leaking for that, I'm sure. So,
Word.
and let's see. As far as other games that go, Phantasy Star Online 2 was announced. I think that's already been out in Japan for a really long time. But they're finally going to bring that to the West. And, I'm not a huge Phantasy Star Online player. That was a Dreamcast, like, huge Dreamcast title, at least in my opinion, back in the day. Like I remember that so much from the Dreamcast days. And anytime I think about, somebody talks about that title, I instantly start thinking about Dreamcast, and like that was one of my favorite consoles of all time. So I'm interested in that. I probably will never play it, but it is going to be free to play, so I might dabble in it a little just for fun. And it is going to have crossplay, which is something that's finally starting to come out again. These companies are touting crossplay. And then you have Final Fantasy on the screen right now. The Final Fantasy VII remaster got its gameplay footage reveal trailer. It looks phenomenal, dude. Graphically, it looks good. Combat looks decent. This thing, this is probably the second most hype. I think Cyberpunk's got me a little more hyped than Final Fantasy, which is sad to say. Yeah, which is crazy because I'm a huge Final Fantasy nut. But
I'm just curious, how they're gonna, I've seen some of the combat. I'm just I don't really get it.
The combat scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm a little nervous about. I think everything on this looks good. The voice actors sound good. The animation, graphically, it looks amazing. But the combat, if it's like Final Fantasy 15, I'm a little nervous because I thought Final Fantasy 15's combat was a little stale.
Sure.
I didn't think it was that good, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Tifa's, Tifa's in the game. They showed her.
Sure.
Looking all nice and pretty. So, I don't know. Final Fantasy VII is going to be cool. They have a pre-order package. It's like $330 and comes with all kinds of crap. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And they have some digital deluxe edition that comes with the statue and steel book and all this crap.
Wow.
But the thing that's scary to me though is that big pre-order edition comes with extra summons, I believe. So it's fuck, man. Are they gonna microtransaction summons in this game?
Wow.
I hope not.
You only get Knights of the Round with the.
Yeah, I'm sure the base ones will be in the game, but they're probably gonna have some, Cactar summon, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
They also announced the Final Fantasy VIII HD remaster, and I was super excited, and I clicked it. As soon as chat told me last night, I'm like, oh crap, and I went and I pulled it up. And it looked like crap to me, but it's just because I haven't seen the game in so long. I mean, I guess I went back today and actually looked at the original game, and I was like, okay, it does look a lot better. But it still looks very, very, very dated. So I don't know, man. I love Final Fantasy VIII. I thought that was a great game.
I know.
And I was hoping it would have got a little bit more juice.
Sure.
But it's coming, so that's cool. It's going to be on Switch, which I think is the ultimate. If you're going to get a remastered version, I think Switch is probably the ideal place because you can take it with you, and those are great, trip games. Let's see. Fallout 76 is getting a battle royale. Is that long or is that legit? Yeah, I don't know.
Understand.
I don't know, man. I don't play Fallout 76. I don't follow the game at all. I just know it had the worst launch in the history of launches ever. So I don't know if that's Maka S or if that's gonna be cool, if it could be good.
Sure.
So,
Weird.
I don't know.
What else?
Go ahead.
No, I don't have anything in this category.
Yeah, Elden Ring is a game that's being developed by the developers of Dark Souls. and George R.R. Martin. So this is
What?
really crazy. Like George R.R. Martin, if you guys don't know who that is, he is the author of the Game of Thrones series. Like he's the guy that wrote the books that the TV show was based on. So obviously a writing genius, and he's working with the Dark Souls developers to make this new game. It was a very, very vague trailer. It didn't show much. It just looked cool. It didn't like have any story elements or anything. But it's called Elden Ring, I believe. And yeah, so I'm interested in that just because George R.R. Martin's tied to it. So I'm gonna follow that.
Okay.
Division 2 got a roadmap. They're gonna give 3 DLCs out for free if you own the game for the first year.
Cool.
And they're also it's gonna have new raids and stuff, and they're making a Division movie with Netflix. This is the part I thought was interesting, is that Netflix seems to be interested in video games, man. Isn't Netflix doing the Halo shit too?
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
so.
know.
I don't know.
I think Netflix is doing Halo. They're doing Division. There was the leaks at last BlizzCon about them doing the Diablo animated series. So Netflix is like kind of on board with this video game. Let's make some video game movies and TV shows and stuff. So
Sure.
that Division's got a cool story and a cool IP, like a cool universe developed. So I could see that being awesome. I hope they do a good job with it. And
Yeah.
Netflix stuff has been good. So
It has been actually. Yeah.
Uplay is also, or Ubisoft, sorry. Ubisoft is doing a subscription service called a Uplay subscription service. Just like everybody else now, you can pay X amount of dollars per month and you get access to like every Ubisoft game. I
Sick.
will say Ubisoft has some good titles though. Like you do get a lot of I don't know what their pricing is going to be. I didn't see that in the article I read, but they got all the Assassin's Creed games in there. They got Division in there. They have like the Crew. They have a pretty good variety of games. So if their pricing is cheap, they could be cool.
Right on.
And then this is the last big announcement to me that I saw so far. I don't know. I mean, there's still shit going on right now as we speak, but
This is the only one I did see.
this one has got me super excited.
Yeah.
It is the Breath of the Wild sequel, and there's no name, I don't believe yet. People have fanboyed out on this so hard where they've actually translated the lyrics in this song.
What?
And like the lyrics are like cryptic, and if you translate them, it means something. I don't remember exactly what's going on,
Huh.
but yeah. So this is the Breath of the Wild sequel. It's got a full animated, kind of
Breath of the
story
Wild
thing.
style. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it looks cool, man. Looks amazing. So
Yeah.
I can't wait for that, man. Breath of the Wild is one of my top 5 games all time, I think.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty hype. You know what? The one
That's
thing
the
I saw with
E3
this, and I didn't know this was a thing, but I know they made like a sequel to A Link to the Past,
it did.
like Link's
Wait, hold on.
Awakening or something. Shit.
Link to the Past. There's been so many. What was the Nintendo one called? The Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo's Link to the Past. That was my
Okay, so
first.
they made a sequel
Zelda,
to that?
right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called like Link's Awakening. I think it's for like one of the Game Boys. But I guess they're
yeah,
remastering
they're
that.
remastering that. Yeah,
Which
and
I
it
know
looked
that's
like
the thing.
crap to me, but people are super excited for it. So
I'm pretty excited for that
I
one.
guess I'm
actually.
excited for it.
Yeah.
Because Link to the
We'll see.
Past wasn't my first one was the original Nintendo one. I've played all of them, honestly. I can't think of the only one I haven't ever played is Wind Walker. I think that was a GameCube one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm super excited. I mean, it says it's in development. I can't imagine we're gonna get this before, it's gonna be 2 years out, easy. I think they announced the first Breath of the Wild like 3 or 4 years before it dropped. So I hope they don't do the same thing. The engine's already built and they
Right.
clearly know how to use it now. So I hope that they can pump out. If it's going to use the same engine, it looks like it has the same animation style.
Yeah. I mean, they should. Shit, man.
Yeah. I was hoping for more DLC, honestly. Like I bought the DLC for the first one and it was a little lackluster, but still more content.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the E3 news, man. That's the
lot.
things that caught my eyes.
There's still
It's a
more to
lot. It
come
was a
too, isn't
lot.
there? Like it's not
Yeah.
over.
No, I think it still goes on today and maybe tomorrow too. Even I'm not sure.
God
So,
damn.
There's so much information out there. It's even hard to figure out exactly what's left because
Right.
it's just like if you Google anything E3, it's just like, here you go. So
Yeah. It's crazy.
take this noise.
No shooters.
Yeah, not a lot of shooters. Not a lot of. So here's something back on Blizzard a little bit.
Sure.
What do you think they could do with Overwatch 2? Like I
Yeah.
don't I just don't know how you get Overwatch 2. Like all new heroes. Okay, so you got to scrap every single hero you have and then get all new heroes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you got to scrap all your maps and get new maps.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are you going to do for game modes? I just, it doesn't make sense to me to drop Overwatch 2 because you can't revolutionize the hero shooter, you know?
Yeah, but there's always comes a time when like a game just like needs that next, to like build the hype again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what could they do? Battle Royale, I
Just do it all
assume, would
over
be
again.
they,
Yeah,
they
I
have
assume
to.
that's what they would do. You
Yes,
can't. How
man.
could you do a BR in a game like Overwatch, like a team fortress style game where everyone
I
has
don't
like a
know.
class? Ugh.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't like I've been thinking about this a little bit today and a little bit over the last week. It's like what are they going to do in Overwatch 2 that makes me go like, "Oh crap, I'm going to abandon everything I know and like about Overwatch 1 to go play 2."
Mm.
And it's like, well, to sell a brand new title for full price for $60, all new heroes, you got to scrap all the old guys. I don't want to see any of the old ones. All new heroes, all new maps, existing game modes plus new ones. But I I just don't know
Sure.
what they're gonna do.
I mean, chances are they'll scrap it. So
Scrap right. Well, we scrapped Overwatch 2. We sent all the
yeah,
people to work on Diablo
yeah,
4, 2022.
sure.
So I don't. Maybe we'll get some announcements at BlizzCon. This kind of puts a little pressure on BlizzCon. I think like this E3 to me was pretty damn good. This was a juicy E3.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like if we go to BlizzCon again, like what announcements can they have at BlizzCon? Diablo 4. They have to if they're gonna drop Immortal,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm.
Diablo 4.
They could just ignore Diablo like they did in 17?
17 and 16 and 15.
16 was
Um,
not ignored, but yeah,
and we got Necro in one of
yeah,
them. I was being
16.
sarcastic.
Yeah, but
But
yeah,
what about World of Warcraft expansion? I think that's on a 2-year cycle, so probably we're gonna get info for the next WoW
yeah,
expansion.
yeah. Retail.
There's always a Hearthstone expansion, so you can count that in.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What happens when they
then what?
launch
Like they,
Classic? It just stays that game forever.
I guess, yeah, guess. I mean, Burning Crusade. You know, I assume if they're gonna launch Classic, they're gonna launch a BC and probably a Wrath of the Lich King at some point.
Hmm.
So Classic will have already launched. When is Classic launching? I can't remember.
Like
September?
August or something, right?
It's before BlizzCon, either way
Yeah,
though. So it will have already been launched. Like what so like that's not an announcement. You can't announce that.
yeah. That's crazy, man. Like yeah. People are saying
I,
chat like no expansions for Classic. It's just gonna stay Classic forever. How long could that model possibly last? I just don't
no
understand.
BC or Wrath. I think they're gonna end up doing a BC or Wrath. The pressure, if Classic kills it like I think it will for the start, the pressure and the desire will be there for Wrath and for Kata or Burning Crusade. Because those three expansions, that's the height of Diablo. Like Wrath of the Lich King had the most subscribers of any period ever. So
I mean, I hope this works
I think
out
they'll
for
do it.
Blizzard. Honestly, I really do. Like, I hope it doesn't blow up in their face because they've spent a ton of time and resource on this thing.
I think it's gonna be fun for a little while. I don't understand how the appeal is gonna last longer than 6 months or a year. Like, let's say 3 years from now, are you still grinding Classic? What are you still gonna grind in
Right? Like,
Classic?
what the fuck?
Every single character, do every single piece of raid content, have every single item.
That
I
you
mean, like
already
what?
did years ago,
Yeah.
which is the
I'm with you 100%. But if you go look at all the people that play it,
no. There's a
like if you
ton, right?
go watch Quinn play it,
Yeah.
he'll tell you it's fucking amazing. And it's like, why though? Like I don't understand yet. I'm gonna play it. I don't understand yet, but I'm gonna do it and just see. I played vanilla. I played vanilla like 40 hours a week every week, the entire thing. So I've been there, done that. So we'll see. We'll see.
It's crazy.
I'm just really like, man, I hope Blizzard's got some aces up their sleeve for BlizzCon because this E3 is so hype and like, man, I couldn't imagine being at like the Final Fantasy VII reveal or the Cyberpunk reveal, even the Halo. Like some of those titles are just massive, and I'd have been like, oh, that would have been hype, a cool atmosphere. So I hope Blizzard's got some tricks up their sleeve this year.
Sure.
So, but that's it, man. That's all the E3 coverage. I guess we can jump into some Twitter questions.
Okay.
So the first question this week comes from Maester Magus. He says, for Diablo 4, how do you feel about legendaries not having special powers? They're all stat sticks with stats that don't roll on regular items. For example, like CDR only rolls on legendaries. Instead, legendary powers are recipes that you find and craft throughout the game and then apply it in a cube-like object. Or do you prefer that legendaries have powers?
I mean, that's kind of like adding a fake depth, I guess, to the game. So it's essentially saying like, okay, you get a legendary item and it can roll cooldown on it, and then like via the cube you add like a legendary power to it, like maybe of your choice, which I guess adds more like, you know, customization to a build or whatever. But I don't know.
Right.
Is that really as in depth as we're hoping Diablo 4 is? I hope not. Like a legendary power and a cube.
Yeah. I mean, they've had years to work on some kind of new loot system.
Right.
And
if Diablo 4 is just
you
like
know.
legendaries, sets, and a cube, like, and that's the entire depth to the game, like, it's a massive disappointment.
It's got its loot system needs to make Diablo 3 look like a Nintendo game.
Right. 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to be just ridiculous. That to me, that's where Diablo 3 feels so dated.
Right.
Is in its loot system, and like it's graphically, I think it still holds up a little bit.
Yeah.
But its loot system just feels like something that came from like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And
it did.
I think and it did, right.
Yeah.
But I think Diablo 4, they've had so much time to work on this, man, and you know, I hope they have a lot of smart guys back there thinking of some really cool shit. So,
and I think
Titan Forged is a wild term. Titan Forged, Ancients, Primals, those are all the same concept. That shit needs to go away.
Yeah, it's
like
fake.
It's gotta go away.
Yeah.
That's horrible, and it doesn't need to be there. So I really hope whatever system we get that's not in it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I really hope, because like Diablo invented almost the system of dynamically generated content, maps, stuff like that. So I really hope they like invest some bright minds and like really expanding upon that and like giving you like a really fresh looking like dungeon every single time you do one. Like that'd be just so fucking cool.
Yep, I'm with you 100%. The loot is why we play the game, but the gameplay is what keeps us in the game. So it's got to have both things. I think, you know.
Yeah.
They got a lot of check marks to hit.
Sure.
But
and we can all agree to skip the campaign.
Just straight into online. There is going to be a $20 Insta Power Boost token you can buy.
Oh, sick.
And it just instantly skips the campaign just for you, Flo.
I'll do it. 100%.
Pay to skip.
Pay to skip.
Yeah. Key-Ray says, are you guys going to try out Google Stadia? Yeah, I'm sure, man. I mean,
no.
They had their big announcement, and to be honest with you, I haven't watched it yet. I did read some cliff notes of it. They're going to have some, you know, it's going to be a subscription for the service, and that's going to license you some basic games from what I understand, and then you still can buy games outright. But you have to have the subscription fee to play the games that you've bought, and it just looks it's looking a little messy.
Yeah.
But this, regardless whether or not I like it or don't like it, I think that this is the future of gaming. If Google's Stadia has such a huge impact on the future of gaming, that I'm going to try it to get a good input. I mean, it could be awesome, man. I mean, I don't know.
For me, it's like as soon as someone. I'm obviously not gonna like go out of my way. Like if it's in front of me and someone's like, "Here, try it," I'm like, "Sure," but I'm not gonna like pay any money or anything like that to try it. But like the minute someone's like, "Oh, there's lag," I'll be like, "Oh yeah, exactly what I didn't want," and no fucking way I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
So, and I don't play a lot of games. Like I don't spend money. Like it's just not a big expensive. I actually. Not most of the reason, but one of the big pros about being a gamer and being the gamer how I'm a gamer is like I spend zero fucking money. I really do. especially as a Diablo gamer, right? Because you like, there's
Yeah.
nothing to spend money
There's no other
on.
content.
You just buy the fucking game and you play. So
Yeah, I like to play a
yeah, we
wide
know.
variety of things. I don't have the time to play as many games as I would like, but um, I don't know, man. I don't see how they can ever get around the latency issue.
Mhm.
It's gonna be there, and it's gonna be a thing where we just condition ourselves to get used to it. But on any kind of Twitch games, like FPS, for example, like Destiny 2 signed up with Google Stadia. Apparently, they're working together to make Destiny part of Google Stadia. I think where if you have a Google Stadia subscription, you get all the content for Destiny or some shit. I don't know, which is really cool. But it's a FPS, man, and so you're starting to throw latency into that
It
scene,
doesn't
and
matter what, I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's just a matter of how serious you want to take it. You can't play Diablo at a high level with latency.
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah.
it doesn't matter what game you're playing. If it's latency and you want to fucking take it seriously, you're going to get pissed off. So,
So we'll have to see how it plays out,
right.
you know. But yeah, I'm gonna try it. For casual games though. Like, yeah, dude, if you could play single player RPGs or like Final Fantasy VII Remake, for example, on Google Stadia, and I could play it anywhere I go just by having my controller with me. Sure, sounds cool.
Mm.
Itchy says, how do you feel about this for a seasonal theme? He says, disable items that always get used in the majority of builds, i.e., Bane of the Trap, Strong Arms, Stricken. Shake things up and get us to use some of the unused items.
Would that really be
Um,
exciting?
yeah, I think that would suck, personally. um,
So we're playing the same
and
stuff, but now we're like
yeah,
nerfed.
now you don't have the good shit either. Yeah, so taking stuff away is never usually a good
Yeah.
thing. Giving us better choices to make
Giving
us
us
not
more
want to use
choices.
those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we have choices that are now
That's
like,
the
oh,
way.
this got buffed, that's how you do it.
Taking
So
away content, like the little content we have, is not a solution to
yeah,
mixing
that
things up.
would that would be really bad, really really bad.
Right. Yeah, I heard
Some people
someone
says,
say uh, a seasonal theme might be the the weapons for every class. Like Bulkatos for the barb, Jessith for the necro. Like giving
you
those to
just
you
get
for
that
free.
set.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a hard time even thinking about, like, was it Danetta's for DH? Crusaders
Oh man, that would.
Norvalds?
I don't even really know what the Netis does now. I can't even remember
I
it.
don't even know.
It's like Smoke Trap for free or some shit,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
It's something bad. Well, Catho's
Chantoto would
weapons
be,
for the barb would
yeah.
be cool.
Can you imagine
You
Veer? Like
know,
Veer Chantoto already, and then get more
with yeah, and then you can still put on like
furnace and fucking yeah.
furnace
God.
and fucking what else? I don't even know.
Yep.
It'd be sick. Be sick.
Yep.
You run. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting
So
though. It's more interesting than COE, that's for sure.
yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with that if they could pick, especially if they rebalance some of those sets too beforehand.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like how cool would that be?
Mm-hmm.
Zombie Wolf says, "Hey, do you guys think BlizzCon will be able to compete, or how do you think BlizzCon will be able to compete with all these new releases and remasters of E3?"
That's a tough question because, like, for us, as Diablo fans and some of you guys, Blizzard fans, like, all Blizzard, I mean, if Blizzard comes out and it's like World of Warcraft expansion, Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, like, that's a pog fucking BlizzCon. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, depends, right? What do
Yeah.
you play? For me, it'd be like crazy hype, to get anything
Right.
Diablo related. So
They don't have to say anything but Diablo 4, and I'm gonna be fucking ecstatic. You
Yeah.
know, so I think it just depends. And as a WoW player, if I go there and WoW expansion is the biggest news, then that's still cool too.
sure.
But I think it just depends on how focused you are on Blizzard games
Yeah,
as to how you compete, because this E3 killed it, man. I mean, there are
Sure.
some huge titles in there this
Yeah.
year. So, I mean, Halo is one of the biggest franchises of all time, even though it's still like 2 years away. It's one of the biggest franchises of all time. Final Fantasy VII is a fan favorite by everybody. And then Cyberpunk's getting so much hype lately. And and I don't even think, like, he's still got Borderlands 3. I think crap, I can't. Gearbox is going to do something for them if they haven't already in the next day or so. So, and I know, I mean, it's just crazy.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't know. Hex says, what game has you most excited from E3?
Halo. I mean, it's not even a
Halo?
question for me.
Yeah.
Shock of all shocks.
I think Cyberpunk for me personally. I think
Single player. Is it multiplayer yet?
I don't think
Then it's
I don't
terrible.
think it's gonna.
Then it's
I don't think it's
terrible.
gonna have any. It's just a big
It's
campaign.
an awful
fluff.
game. It's awful.
It's a big.
Just
It's a
scrap
big
it.
ass campaign.
Yo, take from Blizzard, scrap it. Just trash it. Make a BR instead.
BR, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 BR.
Hell yeah,
Do
dude.
it. Let's see. Demonic Grizz says, name one thing that PoE does really well you wish Blizzard would do in Diablo 4. Let me go first, because I'm going to drop my PoE now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I laugh?
They communicate and react to their community very well.
They do. That's good. Good for you. Good for you, buddy. Hey.
I told you, man. I got this, dude.
Yeah. Organic, replayable content. 100%. Infinite progression. Literally. So, yeah.
There you go. Coda says, if you could be rich and famous, be the best at something, would you be an actor, musician, or athlete? So assuming you're going to be like the Michael Jordan of whatever you pick, what are you going to be? Musician, actor, or athlete?
I'm going to go actor because, like, you know, like being like fucking Iron Man, like or, you know, being in this crazy pop, like amazing dramatic movie or like a documentary, but like, you know what I mean? Like there's so much you can do with it. There's so much they can like put you in. It's almost like the equivalent of being
actor
a gamer,
as well.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a really close second for athlete though.
What sport would you play?
Basketball for sure.
Maybe tennis for me, I think. Yeah.
Tennis, really?
Tennis, hell yeah, brother.
Andre Agassi, huh?
More like Pete Sampras, bro.
What's the hot chick that sucked, but she was famous?
There's been a lot of them.
Oh man, what's her name? I can't think of it.
Sharapova?
There was some. Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe I don't know.
She's pretty good.
There were some pretty hot tennis players that
Serena Williams. That's who you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's the one.
The hottie.
The hottie. That's. Oh wait, no, we got one more question. I'm sorry. Dual Wield says there are a lot of unused Diablo 3 skills. Which skill from what class would you wish was viable in a build? I haven't used these skills, so I don't know. Rapid fire has always kind of been one of my faves, and that kind of got some love this season, although it's using grenades, which
is not rapid fire really at all.
I hate it, but rapid fire would have been my choice.
I think there's just so many like Witch Doctor runes. The caster Witch Doctor runes are so unloved and would kind of overhaul Witch Doctor. Like to make Acid Cloud good, to make Zombie Charger good, it would put a whole new light on playing a Witch Doctor. Like it's so different than what they have right now. So yeah, I mean I guess I'll take one for the team and say those two skills for Witch Doctor.
Nice.
Instead of saying something for Necro.
So you're gonna play Witch Doctor next season then?
If Acid Cloud, like say Firewall Acid Cloud became a build again, I would think about it because it was that good.
Oh, he said think about it. No, you have to commit. I don't want this think about it. Commit. If they buff Acid Cloud, you're gonna play Witch Doctor next season.
Blizzard's looking to do anything that I like wouldn't necessarily want them to do. So I'm not giving them that opportunity.
Oh man, is all the questions that we have. So
easy
peasy. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and listening to the podcast. You can catch us Tuesdays live on twitch.tv.
Yeah.
/Lord_Fluffy. The replays for these are on YouTube. They're on Spotify.
Everything.
Google.
Yeah. iTunes, right?
iPods, and then Google Play. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
iTunes podcast. So come check them out.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Peace.
Peace out, dudes.